Peace, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the N100 from OnePlus and taking a look at their smartphone in the budget price point, which offers a 30-watt fast charger inside of the box. It also does offer a 90 Hz refresh rate as well for the price of $133. But on the left, we have the Poco X3 NFC, which is going to offer a really fast charging as well. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail, but this does have that large battery for 33 watts fast charging. So it's definitely going to be pretty crazy, but both of these devices are under $200. So I kind of want to compare them and let you know what my honest opinion, but I do have the Poetic Revolution case on my N100, and I do have the cam shield on my Poco NFC. So let's just jump right into it. But if you're new to the crew, make sure you subscribe, get notified. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So as you can see, we have a glossy finish on the Poco X3 NFC. This device is actually $189 right now. You can get it for a really good price. $189 is a pretty good steal. I'll leave the cheapest link down below, but you can see you do get this glossy material, which does attract a lot of smudges to it. On the right, we have the the Nord N100. And this device has actually got a matte material on the back, which doesn't attract too many fingerprints or smudges, but it does give you a little bit of marks here and there depending on what you put on it. But both of these devices are actually really good. We do have a heavier device on the Poco NFC. They both have really good battery life, and I want to talk about that as well. 5,160 on the Poco, and just the 5,000, so slightly bigger on the Poco NFC. We're gonna get much better cameras on the Poco NFC for video as well, and everything. They're just gonna be really good. And this has pro camera model. You could basically tailor the focus and things of that nature. So when it comes to the overall build of these phones, you can see that the buttons are different. We have a side-mounted fingerprint sensor on the Poco NFC, so much easier to unlock when you're grabbing it. Now, when you have the N100, you have that rear-facing fingerprint, so that's actually pretty snappy as well. But it works perfectly fine. You get the power button right here, where this one doubles as a power button, so that's kind of cool. But they put the volume rockers right above it. And on the NFC, on the N100, you have those volume rockers over here. So much heavier device when it comes to the NFC, a little bit lighter and more easier to yield on the N100. So I definitely think that's pretty cool. But these do both work on NFC. You don't get, saying Wi-Fi calling on the NFC, but I do believe you get that on the N100. So just keep that in mind. And if you go into the settings right here, I could just show you that, but that's a really important feature if you don't get signal where you live at. So a lot of people do need to know that. So I'm gonna go ahead and search Wi-Fi, calling, and see if that's available on this device as well. If not, it's cool. You might just have to pick another device. Yeah, they don't offer that feature right here. Let me see, Wi-Fi, and so they do have a bunch of settings on here, Wi-Fi preferences, and you can see right here, these are all the options, but they don't have the Wi-Fi calling on here, so just keep that in mind. They do get screencast on here, so you do get that on both of these devices as well. So we do get not an AMOLED display, but we do get Gorilla Glass 3 on the Poco NFC, which is going to be protecting it. Let's look at the displays for just a second and take a look at those. But we do get an IR blaster, which can control my TV. Whenever I lost my batteries, well, my remote died, and then this replaced my remote control for my TV. So I use this device for that. But both these devices do have dual speakers, so I kind of want to compare the speakers on both of these devices so you can hear how the speakers sound. But both of these devices are going to have that dual speaker setup, so I definitely think that's going to be pretty crazy. So I kind of want to just show you how that kind of sounds and let you know which one is better if you decide to pick up one of these devices. So I'm just gonna pick a song right here. Let me see if I could find something that's gonna be Alright, so that's the Poco NFC. Now let's try the N100. And so I really like both of the speakers on both of these devices. They sound really good. As far as the brightness of the displays, I'm gonna give it to the, let me just look at that real quick. One is on dark mode and one isn't. So let me turn on the dark mode on this one, so it could look a little bit similar. Okay, so the screen is a little bit darker on the Poco NFC when it comes to the blacks. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna get darker blacks on this application. At least it looks darker to my eye. But I do have a theme on the Poco, which does have a dedicated you know what I'm saying, themes right here. You could just go to themes. The N100 doesn't have like a theme, like a dedicated theme thing, but you can go to the OnePlus community and get unlimited wallpapers from there, which I think is pretty cool as well. But this one lets you just customize everything, the themes, the wallpapers, the ringtones, everything. So I definitely think that's pretty cool, but we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. As far as the cameras, the NFC has much more advanced cameras, in my opinion. They're much more advanced. You can get much more better results when you're taking video and things of that nature, and different angles and such. So you get the wide angle as well, not just that 2x zoom when you press the button, but then you can also get up to 6x zoom here. Whereas on the Poco NFC, let's see, you would actually have to swipe out and you get that 10x zoom. So it's much deeper and more precise. And even on video, you're gonna notice that there's you get 4K on the Poco NFC as well, which is pretty crazy. And then you only get that 1080p 30 frames per second on the N100. So much more sophisticated cameras on the Poco device. So I just want to let you guys know that. Now, as far as the software on both of these devices, if we can go into settings, I want to show you right here in the about phone, we get the MIUI Global 12.08, and on this we got the Oxygen right here, which is basically the 10.5.9, but this is running on Android 10, and the same thing with the Poco. It's going to be running Android 10 as well. So just keep that in mind for both of these devices, that they're both running on Android 10 and everything like that. But similar, really both of these devices are similar because they both run really quickly. They're both very, very snappy devices. So I definitely like that about both of these devices. So let's just get into a little bit of gaming. All right, guys, so on the Poco X3 NFC, you can hear those dual speakers are really loud. We do get HDR10 on this guy as well. Let me see, I think it's trying to download something. I'm gonna disconnect from the Wi-Fi so I could just get a better connection overall. But we do get a 1080 by 2400 full HD display on this guy versus a 720 x 1440 HD plus display on the N100. And both of these devices do offer punch hole displays. However, the punch hole is located in the middle on the Poco NFC, X3 NFC, and the punch hole is towards the left on the N100. But as far as the graphics on my Poco X3, when I go into graphics, I like to use the balance and ultra frame rate because it doesn't go up to the HDR one. So it goes up to the HD high, but I'd rather have it at ultra frame rate. So I just leave it like that, and then I'm able to play, you know, PUBG Mobile. So I definitely like the frame rate on this one. Now the X3 has a 6.67 inch display, 6.67 versus 6.52. So definitely a larger display that we're getting on the Poco device. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, the X3 NFC, it has a 120 hertz refresh rate. So it's definitely gonna be really good for gaming and things like that. I could definitely, let me just turn up the brightness. But it just zips through everything that you're doing. It looks really clean. The speakers sound amazing on this device as well. So on the N100, we also do get those dual speakers, which sound really clear. The 6.52 inch display, LCD, IPS, you know, display on here as well. 20:9 aspect as well. 249 for the 247 for the PPI, whereas we're getting 395 on the NFC. So it's a higher pixel per inch on the NFC. But let's go ahead and test out the graphics on the N100. We're also getting the Snapdragon 460 on this guy, coupled with the Adreno 610. But on the Poco NFC, we got the 618 Adreno 618, and we got the Snapdragon 732 you know what I'm saying, 32G, which is a lot better. But for the 460 on this guy, it's actually not bad. But it's a little bit, as you can see, it's definitely not as high quality when it comes to the overall performance. This guy will be a little bit more sluggish when it comes to overall tasks and things of that nature. So, got him. That was definitely ill. I got another dude right there. That was pretty sick as well. So you definitely got to be tactful, but you can definitely game on here with the 90 hertz compared to the 120. So he was moving a lot and I missed him at the last moment. So you got to be very precise with your shots. But so both of these phones actually fly when it comes to the performance. You got the 11nm processing chip on the NFC, I'm sorry, on the N100, and then the 8nm on the NFC. So it's just you know, saying slightly more RAM. You have 6 RAM, 4 gigabytes of RAM on this guy. You have the 64 gigabytes of storage on this guy, and the 64 storage on this guy. So they both have expansion as well. They both do offer gyroscopes as well as accelerometers, and the compass sensor as well as the fingerprint sensor, which is pretty cool, and also facial recognition. So the only thing is that you're getting the LED light on this guy as well, and you're getting NFC on this guy, but you don't get the NFC on this guy as well. So just keep that in mind, that you won't get the NFC, but you will get the screen recorder and the hotspot and all of those features like nearby share and screen cast and everything. And you will get the IR blaster on this one. So I just want to do a quick comparison of both of these phones. I definitely feel like both of these devices are really solid for the price. So let me know what you guys think down below. But I'm gonna get right back with you, and I'll see you guys in the comment section later, group. Peace.